Chosen one. This was not coincidence. This was the moment heaven whispered your name. You didn't hear it with your ears, but your soul recognized it. A divine presence leaned close and said, "Congratulations. You do not hear that word from heaven unless a decision has already been made in your favor. Something you have been begging for, crying over silently, staying up late at night and checking signs for, has already been approved. The thing you thought would take another year is arriving tonight. Yes, tonight, not in another lifetime, not in your next prayer, not after you become perfect, but tonight." It didn't need to shout, because it already knew your heart had been waiting. This quiet pull you're feeling right now, it's not your imagination, it's a sacred beginning, a spiritual invitation that doesn't knock twice. If your spirit knows this is for you, type Amen in the comments to say, "I believe, I receive, I'm ready." Right now, something invisible is moving in your favor. Something ancient is awakening. While nothing around you may look different yet, everything above you has already shifted. God has begun a process something. He has long been preparing behind the scenes of your life. He waited patiently, not for your perfection, but for this very moment, the moment your spirit would be quiet enough to notice, soft enough to believe, and open enough to receive. God has something to say to you. Yes, you, not the crowd, not the masses, not whoever finds this. This is not a generic message. This is a divine appointment, written in eternity, finally arriving at your doorstep. The timing is not random. The tone is not casual. And the weight of what you're feeling right now, that's confirmation. This message didn't fight through noise and distraction to land in your lap by chance. It was ordered, assigned, delivered, not by mistake, but by divine intention. God made sure it reached you. Not them, not the ones who walked away, not the ones who overlooked you, but you, the one whose heart kept whispering, "Please, just one more sign." And this is that sign. God says this is not a moment to brush off or postpone. If you wait, you'll miss it. If you dismiss it, the door will close. Because this is not just a message, it's a summoning. And the window is sacred. Heaven doesn't send warnings dressed as blessings unless the hour is urgent. And this is the kind of moment people pray for their whole lives but miss because they are too distracted to notice. But not you. Not this time, because your heart is listening, your soul is awake, and God is leaning in to speak directly to you. I am here, I see you, and what I'm about to reveal will change everything. Congratulations. God does not say that lightly. Heaven doesn't celebrate prematurely. That word is sacred. It only echoes from above when the outcome has already been settled. Something you've been carrying in silence, something heavy, something personal, something so close to your soul that you stopped talking about it has now been granted, approved, released. You may have stopped praying for it every night because you didn't want to feel disappointed again. You may have told yourself, "It's okay, maybe it's not for me." But deep down, you never stopped hoping. And God never stopped listening. Every time you whispered your longing into the dark, He was already preparing a yes wrapped in timing, refined through waiting and protected by divine hands until the perfect moment. That moment is now. You thought it would take another year. You thought you'd have to cross more mountains, conquer more fear, and prove yourself to more people. You assumed that blessings this big only come when you've got everything figured out, when your life looks whole, when your faith feels solid. But God never needed your perfection to move. He only needed your persistence. He needed your heart to keep beating, your soul to keep standing, even if trembling, even if alone. Tonight is not about what you've earned. It's about what has been decided. You are not here to strive anymore. You are here to receive. Heaven has already seen the battles you fought behind closed doors. The nights you couldn't sleep, the tears that stained your pillow, the moments when you held your breath, waiting for a sign, any sign, that you weren't forgotten. And because God saw it all, He marked this hour, this exact window of time, to give you what others said you'd never receive. Let that sink in for a moment. The word congratulations was spoken in the courts of heaven before you saw any evidence on earth. And that is the nature of divine timing. It always moves before your eyes can catch up. Right now, the spiritual realm has already shifted in your favor. The scroll with your name on it has already been opened. Your answer is not pending, it's in transit. You are not waiting for God to make a decision. You are being invited to align your heart with what has already been done. And once you do, the delivery will not be delayed. It may not look how you expected. It may not arrive through the people you assumed, but it will come. And when it does, you'll remember this moment, the stillness, the warmth, the rush of emotion in your chest, and you'll say to yourself, this was real, this was mine. There is something sacred unfolding behind the scenes of your life, and whether you feel ready or not, it has already begun. The scroll with your name on it, sealed by the very breath of God, has now been opened. Heaven has not just made a decision, it has initiated movement. What was once locked away, preserved for an appointed time, is now being released into motion. You may not have seen it yet with your physical eyes, but your soul can already sense it. That's why you've felt a stirring inside lately. That's why the air around you feels different, why time itself seems to be bending quietly, subtly in your direction. This isn't just about receiving a gift. It's about stepping into a divine timeline that was written for you before you even knew how to pray for it. God has not just answered your request, He has ordained a path for you to walk that leads straight into your promise. And with the opening of that heavenly scroll, things are being set in motion that no man can stop, no demon can block, and no delay can hold back. The miracle isn't waiting for your perfection. It's responding to your permission. And the moment your heart says yes, you are already in it. You are no longer asking for a breakthrough, you are walking into one. This is the mystery of divine timing. While you thought you were waiting, God was working. While you were wondering if He had forgotten, He was orchestrating. He was speaking your name in rooms you've never entered, moving pieces into place, aligning hearts, softening obstacles, rearranging timelines. And now, all of it is converging into this exact moment. The scroll has been opened, the seal has been broken, and what has been written cannot be unwritten. You may still be in the same room. You may still see the same walls and hear the same silence, but trust this. The atmosphere around you is not what it was yesterday. A divine transition has begun, and your very presence in this moment means you're already part of it. You are no longer on the outside waiting to be invited in. You are standing at the threshold of the sacred. You've crossed into fulfillment, even if it hasn't yet taken form around you. And here's the most powerful truth. You don't have to force it. You don't have to push, chase, or strive. This miracle knows your name. It was written with you in mind. It was timed to arrive when your spirit was strong enough to carry it, and your heart was soft enough to keep it holy. And now that moment has come. You're not just hearing a message. You're being escorted by the hand of God into the very thing you once thought was impossible. The scroll is open, the words are alive, and your miracle is no longer waiting to happen. It has already begun. Some moments in life come and go quietly, leaving behind nothing more than a vague memory. But this is not one of those moments. This one carries weight. This one carries consequences. Because when heaven opens a scroll, when God Himself initiates a shift in your timeline, what you do next becomes sacred. And here is what you must understand. While this miracle cannot be stolen, it can be missed. And if you walk away from it, not only will you know, you will feel it. This is not about punishment. God is not here to threaten you, but He loves you too much not to warn you. The opportunity before you is not ordinary. It is rare. It is heaven-crafted, time-sensitive, and spiritually precise. You've been prepared for this moment through pain, through waiting, through the wilderness, and now the gate is open. But it won't remain open forever. Divine doors only swing wide when the timing is aligned, when the heart is ready, when the atmosphere is right. And now, everything is aligned. But you must walk through it. If you hesitate out of fear, if you shrug this off as just another feel-good message, if you let the voices of doubt talk you out of your own breakthrough, the door will quietly begin to close. And though no one else may notice, your soul will. You will feel a hollow space where the miracle was meant to land, not because God changed his mind, but because heaven never forces what must be freely received. You have to choose it. There are people, maybe even in your own circle, who never believed this moment would come for you. They may have whispered in shadows, "They'll never make it. They're too far gone. They've been forgotten." What they didn't know is that God has been guarding your promise in silence, wrapping it in layers of grace, shielding it from premature exposure. He was not withholding it. He was protecting it. And now, as it unfolds, those same voices will be silenced not by your words, but by the weight of your arrival. Yet, the sacred truth remains. Heaven only releases what you're willing to receive. This is why God is speaking to you so directly, so personally. He knows your history. He knows how many times you've almost given up. How many times you said, "God, if this isn't real, I don't think I can keep hoping." And still, you're here, still listening, still open. And that openness is your invitation to cross through the invisible threshold. But please hear this clearly. If you walk away from this moment, your soul will grieve, not because of shame, but because it will recognize what was missed. That pain will not come from outside. It will come from within, from the part of you that knew this was it, this was the door, and it was real. So don't delay, don't dismiss, don't overthink. Step through, right now, before the gate quietly closes again. This is not merely about receiving a blessing. What's unfolding in your life now is something far deeper, far more sacred. It is a reversal, a holy turning of tides. A moment where everything you lost, everything that broke you, everything that left you feeling unseen, unheard, unchosen, is being addressed by God himself. And he is not sending you back what was taken. He is sending something better, something purified, something born out of divine fire. There is a kind of healing that doesn't just mend the wound, it rewrites the story. That is what is coming for you. Not just a gift to make you smile, but a restoration so deep it will make you weep. It will touch places within you that even you forgot were still aching. It will feel like something soft breaking open inside of you, an old locked door creaking open to let light in again. Not a spotlight, not a floodlight, but a warm golden glow, the light of being remembered, redeemed, and restored. This miracle is not a compensation. It's a correction of timelines, a reversal of what the enemy tried to steal, a reversal of every closed door that should have opened, of every heart that should have stayed, of every opportunity that passed you by because it wasn't your fault, but it still left you broken. God saw it all, and he never forgot. And now, in his perfect timing, he is returning not just what you hoped for, but what your soul truly needed to become whole. You may not recognize it at first. Sometimes restoration looks unfamiliar because it comes wrapped in peace instead of chaos, in stillness instead of drama. It may come through a message you didn't expect, a person you thought was long gone, an idea that suddenly clicks, a door that swings open without effort. And when it does, you will feel it not just as a moment of happiness, but as a holy undoing of the sadness that tried to settle in your bones. Let this be clear. This restoration is not small. It is not subtle. It has been in motion for a long time, even if you couldn't see it. God was working while you were weeping. He was gathering pieces while you were questioning. He was building a future while you were surviving your present. And now, finally, that future is stepping into your now. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to chase it. It's already moving toward you. Because when heaven decides to restore, it doesn't return you to where you were, it launches you into where you were always meant to be. What's coming will not just replace the pain, it will redeem it. It will honor it. It will make sense of why it had to happen the way it did, and it will remind you gently but powerfully that God never forgot you, not for one moment. This moment isn't about you receiving something random or lucky. It's not a casual surprise. It's not just a blessing tossed your way because you've been good or endured long enough. No, this is something deeper, older, and more deliberate than that. This is a divine reversal, a heavenly recalibration of everything that was stolen, delayed, denied, or broken in your life. And it has been written with your name on it since the beginning of time. What's coming is not compensation, it is correction. Not a favor, but a fulfillment. Not a gift you stumbled into, but a restoration that was divinely orchestrated long before you even knew you needed it. And make no mistake, it's already on its way. God is not just returning what was lost, He's returning it in a form that's healed, strengthened, and multiplied. You may have cried over what is left, but you will weep with joy over what's about to arrive. When heaven moves to restore, it does not send back broken pieces, it delivers wholeness. God is not trying to patch you up. He's not placing bandages over wounds. He's doing something more sacred. He is reversing the very trajectory of pain, that heartbreak you thought you had to live with, that chapter you thought would never close, that silence you feared would never speak again. All of it is being rewritten in real time, not with chaos, not with force, but with holy precision. You may not even recognize the restoration when it first appears. That's how divine it will be. It won't look like the old thing returning. It will feel like something new, but familiar to your spirit. It will carry the fragrance of peace, the sound of alignment, the warmth of home. Your mind might question it, but your soul will sigh in relief, because it will feel like a resolution, like a breath you didn't know you were holding, finally being released, like justice, see not earthly justice, but heaven's justice landing gently but firmly in your hands. God saw every tear you cried when no one was looking, every sleepless night where your chest felt heavy and your prayers felt unanswered, every time you smiled through the pain so no one would see you fall apart, every moment you whispered, "God, do you see me?" And now, He's answering not just with words but with action, with movement, with restoration. This isn't about proving anything to anyone. You don't have to show the world you survived. The evidence will speak for itself. The reversal will be so evident, so undeniable, that even those who doubted you, who counted you out, will have to pause. They won't understand how it happened. But you will. You'll know that God touched your timeline and turned it. He is restoring what you thought was too far gone. He's reviving what felt dead, not in the exact form it left, but in a form that fits who you've become, because you've changed. The old you were waiting to be rescued, but the version of you today, the one who endured, who didn't give up, who's still standing even when everything said you'd fall, that version is ready to receive, protect, and steward what is coming. And what's coming is sacred. It's not flashy, it's not chaotic, it's soft, it's still, it's holy. It's the kind of restoration that makes you cry without words, that drops you to your knees not in despair, but in awe. This is not random. This is not too late. This is the answer you forgot how to ask for. And it's coming in a way that will heal the unanswered questions, soften the old scars, and remind you that God never forgot you. Not for a second. There is a door in front of you right now. Not physical, not obvious to anyone else, but it's real as breath, as real as the longing in your heart, as real as the whisper that led you here. It's not a door others will recognize or understand. In fact, if you were to try and explain it, many wouldn't believe you, because this door was never meant for them. It was carved into your timeline alone. It responds only to your agreement, your surrender, your willingness to step forward in faith. God is offering you more than a breakthrough. He is offering you a thresholder crossing point, a sacred invitation to exit everything that no longer fits who you are becoming and enter into a realm of alignment, peace, and divine purpose. But here's the truth that many miss. Even a door designed by God can go unopened if you hesitate to walk through it. This door is not flashy. It doesn't have flashing lights or a grand welcome sign. Instead, it stands quiet, humble, hidden to those who are distracted or spiritually numb. It only becomes visible to those who are paying attention. And if you're reading this now, if something in your chest feels alive, alert, and moved, then you've already begun to see it. That's why you've felt such a holy unrest lately. That's why your soul has been stirring, because something deep within you recognizes that this is not just another moment. This is a divine intersection. You may be tempted to wait for another sign, wait for the fear to subside, wait until you feel stronger, holier, more ready. But the truth is, the readiness you're looking for doesn't come before the step. It comes through the step. God didn't ask you to be fearless. He asked you to trust. He didn't ask you to figure it all out. He asked you to follow. This door doesn't require perfection. It only requires obedience. Understand this. Doors like this don't open twice. Not because God is cruel, but because timing is sacred. What has aligned in the heavens on your behalf right now, this exact alignment of people, places, timing, healing, clarity will not hold forever. Heaven is patient, but purpose is precise. When the moment arrives, it must be seized. If you miss it, the ache that follows is not from punishment, it's from spiritual memory. It's your soul remembering what it was created to walk through and realizing it stayed behind. This is not a fear-based warning, it's a holy awakening. God doesn't threaten, He invites, He calls, He opens, but He never forces. That's why this door, this invisible threshold can only be entered by you. No one can do it for you. No one can drag you through it. You must rise and move when the Spirit stirs, because once you do, everything changes. The air shifts, the story rewrites, the waiting ends, and you may not feel ready. That's okay. Most people don't feel ready when destiny calls, but feeling ready isn't what unlocks the door. Faith does. The kind of faith that whispers yes through trembling lips. The kind of faith that takes one small step, even if your knees are shaking. That is the kind of faith heaven honors. That is the kind of faith that moves mountains, and more importantly, opens doors. So look again, not with your eyes, but with your spirit. The door is right in front of you. Heaven is holding it open, just long enough for your yes to reach it. And when you walk through, you won't be the same. Because no one crosses a divine threshold and comes out unchanged. Right now, in this very moment, something unimaginable is happening in the spiritual realm. Heaven has paused. All of it. The movement, the missions, the momentum. Angels, watchers, witnesses, they are still attentive, focused. Why? Because God has asked a question that only you can answer. Are they ready? This is not a rhetorical question. It's not hypothetical. It's not about potential. It's a question that reaches deep into the fabric of your soul, the kind of question that creation leans into. And heaven, in all its majesty, is waiting for your response. Not with pressure, not with force, but with holy anticipation. Because the decision has already been made on God's side. The scroll has been opened. The timing has been declared. The door is ajar. Now, the question is not, will God move? The question is, will you? In moments like this, nothing on earth may feel different at first. You might still be in the same room, wearing the same clothes, surrounded by the same unanswered questions. But in the spiritual dimension, this moment is not ordinary. It is cosmic. This is the space where timelines bend, where destinies accelerate, where miracles are released not through striving but through alignment. And that alignment comes from just one thing, your willingness to believe. God does not ask this question lightly. When He asks, are they ready? It means He has already equipped you with everything necessary to step into what He's offering. He's not looking for your resume. He's looking at your heart. He's not testing your qualifications. He's measuring your faith. And not the loud, public kind of faith, the kind that others can see and applaud, but the quiet, trembling kind. The kind that keeps whispering yes when everything in the natural says not yet. Your response doesn't have to be shouted. It doesn't need fireworks or fanfare. In fact, the most powerful answers to God are whispered in stillness, a nod of the soul, a moment of inner surrender. That's what moves heaven. That's what tells God, I'm not perfect, but I'm willing. I'm not fearless, but I trust you. I'm not certain, but I believe. And when that answer comes, even silently, something shifts. The angels move, the spirit stirs, the release begins, because your yes becomes the divine permission that unlocks what has been waiting in heavenly storehouses for you. This moment doesn't just determine whether you receive the miraculite, determines whether the miracle recognizes you when it arrives. It determines whether the delivery can be completed. And make no mistake, heaven doesn't waste moments like these. Every detail has been watched over. Every delay was measured. Every tear was counted. And now, you've arrived here not randomly, not accidentally, but by divine design. You are standing in the very spot where your faith becomes the answer to God's question. So what will you say? You don't need to convince him. You don't need to prove your worth. You simply need to open your spirit and let your belief rise to the surface. That belief becomes a signal, a flash of light in the spirit realm that says, they're ready now. And the moment that signal reaches heaven's throne, what was delayed gets delivered. What was blocked gets broken open. What was hidden gets revealed. This is more than just a test. It's an activation. And heaven is not looking for perfection. They are watching for your yes. One whisper, one shift, one sacred decision. That's all it takes. And all of heaven is watching. Even now, before you see it with your eyes, before anything changes in nature, something has already shifted in the unseen. The spiritual realm is not waiting anymore. It's responding to you, to your faith, to your silent agreement, to the yes that rose from your spirit, whether you whispered it out loud or simply felt it settle in your chest like an anchor. That single moment of surrender was enough to unlock the shift. It's already begun. The atmosphere around you is no longer the same. Even if your surroundings appear unchanged, your life has already started to move into divine order. God doesn't need the calendar to change for your season to change. He doesn't require evidence to start moving. The moment your soul aligned, the timing turned. There was no thunder, no trumpet blast. But the shift is real, and soon it will become undeniable. You will begin to notice subtle things first. A thought that feels lighter. A burden that suddenly loses weight. A sense of peace rises like a quiet tide inside you. You'll feel it in your chest. The tightness that once lived there will begin to loosen. The ache that lingered for months or years may feel as though it's melting. Why? Because you've stepped out of waiting and into receiving. The spiritual timeline around you has accelerated. The delivery is already on its way. It won't always come loudly. It won't always announce itself. But the signs will begin to appear. A message, a name, a song lyric. A door opens that was long shut. A person reaches out unexpectedly. An idea drops into your spirit like a seed, and you'll know it didn't come from you. These are the confirmations of movement, of answered prayer, of heaven pressing go. And you may wonder, how can something shift if I didn't do anything different? But you did. You believed. And in heaven's economy, belief is the currency. Belief opens what logic cannot. Belief breaks through what effort alone could never touch. You've carried so much for so long: responsibility, sorrow, confusion. But now, in this moment, you are carrying breakthrough. It's in you, around you, resting on your shoulders like light. Don't be surprised if people begin to treat you differently. They may not know why they feel drawn to you. They won't be able to explain the change in your energy, your presence, your peace. That's because your spirit is glowing now, lit by alignment. The glow doesn't come from the miracle arriving. It comes from the miracle being activated, and that activation has already happened. God does not need to wait for your outer circumstances to become perfect before releasing what He has planned. He only waits for your inner agreement. And now that He has it, the shift will continue, sometimes silently, sometimes suddenly, but always faithfully. His word will not return void. His promise will not fade. What He started in you, He will finish. So breathe. Rest your mind, quiet your doute, because something holy has begun. You are no longer stuck, no longer waiting for someday. You are living in the opening seconds of your answered prayer, and as the hours pass, the signs will become louder. The proof will grow clearer, but your spirit already knows. It has already seen what your eyes have yet to witness. The shift isn't coming. The shift is here. This is it. Not the warm-up, not the rehearsal, not another spiritual whisper telling you to wait a little longer. No, this is the moment you were created for. The moment everything begins to align, the moment the delay finally breaks, the moment heaven's decree becomes earth's reality, and it's not vague. It's not floating in the air looking for a destination. It's coming straight to you with your name on it. The blessing has been released. There is no more if, no more someday, no more wondering whether you missed it. Heaven didn't forget you. God wasn't silent because He was absent. He was waiting for the precise, sacred alignment of your soul and His purpose. And now finally you are in position. Your heart is open. Your spirit is awake. The resistance is broken. And because of that, the release has begun. This blessing is not general. It is not for whoever sees this. It is yours, crafted in the secret chambers of heaven, spoken into existence before you even knew how to ask for it, guarded through your darkest nights, refined through your deepest disappointments, held back not as punishment, but as preparation, because what is coming is not light, it carries the weight of destiny. You are not receiving just another good thing. You are receiving something holy, something that shifts legacies, something that closes generational wounds, something that redefines who you are not based on what you've endured, but on who God has always known you to be. That is why it took time. That is why it couldn't come earlier. Because God wasn't just preparing the blessing, He was preparing you. And now, beloved, you are ready. You may still feel fear. That's okay. Fear does not disqualify you. You may still feel doubt trying to whisper its last, desperate lies. That's okay too. The presence of fear does not mean the absence of faith. What matters now is what you choose to agree with. Heaven is inviting your final yes, not a passive hope, not a cautious maybe, but a faith-filled, soul-rooted yes that says, God, I receive it. I will not shrink. I will not sabotage. I will not delay. And as that yes rises, something shifts permanently, not temporarily, not conditionally, permanently. A seal is placed, a mark is made. A moment in time becomes sacred, etched in eternity, the moment you stepped into your inheritance. From this point on, things will begin to feel lighter, smoother, aligned. Not perfect, but purposeful. Not always easy, but undeniably blessed. You'll notice ease where there used to be resistance, flow where there used to be friction. Divine timing shows up again and again, confirming that the gates are open and the blessing is flowing. People may call it luck. They may say, you're having a good season. Let them guess. But you'll know, you'll remember this message. You'll remember the quiet tears, the late night whispers, the moments you almost gave up but didn't. And you'll say, this is what I was waiting for, and I didn't miss it. So now exhale. Let go. Step forward. Heaven has done its part. The delivery has left the throne. The angels are already in motion. And your name is glowing in the spirit like a golden banner. The blessing is on its way. The moment is now. And, beloved, You will be very, very happy tonight. Final prayer to seal what heaven has released. God, I come before you now not with noise, but with reverence. Not with performance, but with surrender. I feel the weight of this moment not as a burden, but as a blessing. Something in my soul knows this isn't just another message. This is a divine encounter. You have spoken, and I am listening. You have stirred something ancient inside of me, something sacred, something I thought had been buried by time, pain, or silence. But now I see it was never gone. It was just waiting for this moment. So here I am, Lord. I don't bring perfection. I bring my yes. I don't bring certainty. I bring my belief. I don't bring strength. I bring the surrender that says, I can't do this without you. And I know now, I was never supposed to. You have carried me farther than I realized. You protected me in rooms I didn't even know I was being talked about. You shielded me from things I thought I wanted but would have broken me. You delayed things, not because I was forgotten, but because I was being made ready. And now, I say with a full and trembling heart, yes, Lord, I receive. I received what was delayed. I received what was denied. I receive what was divinely timed. I receive the blessing you have spoken, the shift you have set in motion, the restoration you have already released. I say yes to the miracle with my name on it, yes to the peace that surpasses understanding, yes to the door only I can walk through. And I say yes to the newness that begins now, not tomorrow, not someday, but now, because you have declared that I am ready, and I trust your judgment more than my fear. Lord, seal this moment. Don't let it pass through me like a feeling. Let it take root like truth. Let it grow into evidence. Let it manifest into transformation. Let this not just be a prayer I pray, let it be a reality I live. May this not be a passing moment of hope, but a permanent shift in my spirit. Let every doubt be silenced. Let every lie lose its grip. Let every past shame dissolve under the weight of your glory. You didn't bring me this far to tease me. You didn't wake my heart tonight for nothing. You moved because you are faithful, and I believe you. So I ask now that you complete what you've begun, finish what was delayed, deliver what was assigned, confirm what was spoken, and when it comes, help me hold it with reverence. Help me protect it with wisdom. Help me share it without fear. Let others see not just the blessing but the God behind it. Let them see that what arrives in my life is not a coincidence. It's a covenant, no chance. But promise, you are not just answering a prayer. You are fulfilling a prophecy. If ever I forget what happened tonight, remind me. If I begin to doubt again, show me. If I grow weary, strengthen me. And above all, never let me go back to who I was before this moment. Because something holy has happened here. Something eternal, something irreversible. I can feel it. I can sense it. I can see it. This is not the end. This is the unlocking. And I welcome it with awe, with gratitude, and with a heart wide open. Thank you, God. I will never be the same again. Amen.